Hello and welcome to this Project in a Box video tour. I'm Malcolm West and I'm going to be talking here about the methodologies that we support across the Product in a Box range of products. So here's a little summary chart. Basically, most of the standard now 12 method templates are available across the majority of the tools. Certainly this first set, our Prince2 resource pack, the standard stepped methods that we've developed, DSDM Atern, the new practice framework, and our sales process, PPP, are available across all the products. A couple of products where we've licensed material and have to pay royalties on those, we charge for those across the products as shown here. It's bundled, the MSP is bundled with Enterprise Edition because of the price bracket. And then we have a couple of methods which are really designed for use on multi-user systems about aggregating management performance information, lessons learned, PMO Best Practice, libraries, etc. So not really appropriate for the smaller personal tools. And then developing your own method. This is something that you can do. You can build any tailored version of these methods or your own completely custom method from any of our commercial packages. Personal edition for the individual, small team or enterprise editions for multi-user environments. Community edition doesn't support putting your own personalized method into it. So let's have a little look through some of these in detail, and we'll then have a look at one of them being used, or a couple of them being used in community edition. So the Prince2 resource pack. This is the standard set of official Prince2 templates, which actually I authored and we then provided to OGC. We've added some extra templates which we think people will find useful, and they are provided as a library. There is some additional links to download, process diagrams and other such things, and this is provided as the standard Prince2 free implementation across all of our tools. We have then the first of our stepped process methods. So we've put in place our own life cycle, if you like, for delivering typical projects based on our 10 years of experience of doing this within Project in a Box and plenty of years experience before that. So there are 4 standard methods. The first one-step method is aimed at things really that probably don't quite constitute a real project, but you still want to manage them in a structured way, document them, etc. So we have a process for that. We then have the 3-step process. This is for single deliverable projects, standard set of documentation using Prince2 templates and language for consistency, but this is a very light process for low complexity projects. 4-step method takes that 3-step and adds repeatable deliverables within that, repeatable work packages. It supports a range of different types of work package, so you can inject different elements into your project to give that customization should you want to. And then we have our 5-step process. This is the most substantial of the methods that we have developed, and has an extra direction process to it for management oversight, and a more substantial set of stages rather than work packages within the method structure. So those 4 methods, 1, 3, 4 and 5-step, form a pretty useful stepped process for implementing most projects that an organization will have to implement. All use the same sort of standard templates for consistency. They include our standard planner and planner tools for task, risk and issue management, etc. DSDM Atern is the agile method that we recommend. It is published standard. We license the materials and the templates that are used within it. Great for projects where you don't necessarily know exactly what it is you're going to be doing as you go along. They evolve, they deal with high degrees of change in a very efficient way, and very useful method. I fully recommend you researching it. Practice framework. This is a new method that we've introduced in this latest round of releases. Very interesting again, set of materials which is aimed at supporting projects, programs and portfolios, the full range of task-related activities, if you like. It covers not just the process, but also the tools and techniques, the skills that you need, the competence that you might need. It has a knowledge base. It's a very comprehensive piece of work to assemble this. It cross-references and draws ideas and concepts and language from all of the recognised Prince2 MSP environments, portfolio management environments, the APM's PMBOK it's aligned with. So it's a really useful thing. We've initially just released a low complexity version of this for your very simplest, least complex projects, and we're going to be releasing in the future next step versions for more complex projects, programs and portfolio environments. And PPP, which is a sales process methodology, again we've put together because so often people don't treat sales process and tender responses as projects. They are really projects, and they are very high risk projects usually for environments not done, for organisations not done in perhaps as controlled a manner as they often should be, considering what's being worked on. So we propose a method here. Again, it's something that you can personalise on the appropriate products should you want to do that. So those are the methods that we provide for free across all of our tools. We then have some of the commercial offerings. We've got Prince2 method template. This is using full license set of templates. Actually, the same templates we use on the resource pack, but here we've built all the process modeling in as well. So we've taken license diagrams from the Prince2 manual. We've interlinked all those documents and processes together. So as you click on each process, you'll get what the manual recommends you should be doing, along with some useful hints and tips about that. It's a commercial add-on to add on to whichever product it is that you have. Very useful though, especially if you're doing the training, to help support that implementation. MSP, exactly the same sort of idea as with the Prince2, licensed method with templates, process diagrams to support implementation of MSP or training around MSP. We then have the couple of methods that we support primarily on the multi-user platforms. Lessons learned library, very simple method template to enable you to store, interlink the lessons, issue logs, risk registers, etc. from all of your projects into one place. They're indexed for searching so that you can produce a library that people can go into and find. Even though the project may have disappeared, these documents are retained in the library so that you can search and find out issues that were had on previous projects. PMO Best Practice is again a similar sort of idea. You create the thing once, it's provided empty with all these categories in it. You can then store the information that pertains to your organisation in the way that you want to have these particular topics addressed. It's extendable, so you can put extra topics in, and builds up the sort of library of information that people want to have around best practice, PPM environments, etc. And people can access that in exactly the same tool as they access their projects as well. But of course, one of the key things about Project in a Box and methodology and our method template idea is, as well as using these standards off the shelf, which take a lot of customers, pretty much as far as they need to go, you can also personalize these to have your own logos in it and change the templates for your language, etc., the diagrams, color schemes, all that sort of thing, or create your own complete bespoke methods. If you've got a manual sitting gathering dust on the shelf, or a PDF on your website somewhere, and you want to turn that into an interactive, navigable methodology that people can just click their way through and work on the templates that you want them to at the time you want them to, then we can do that for you. You can do it yourself, or we can do it for you if you would like. It's pretty straightforward to do, and really is a big step forward for many of the large customers that we support. Makes it easy to audit all the compliance issues associated with people doing things in the way that you want them to do. So let's have a quick look at that within Community Edition. This is our completely free tool, so it comes with a lot of those methods that we've just been looking at, provided as standard. we open an existing project and we see a few examples provided here. You can go in and add new projects whenever you want to. So let's just go and quickly add ourselves a new project. Give it a name and choose the method template that we'd like to build it from. In this case, I'm going to go for a 5-step. So we've now got our new project here, and in fact you can put as many projects as you want to into Community Edition, as you can with all the rest of our tools. We don't have a limit around that. So here's my 5-step method. Very simple. I just point and click to navigate my way through here. Click on Project Concept. It gives me the documentation associated with the project concept activity. In this case it's a project mandate template. I can click to view it. Here, standard template. If I want to work on it, I will check it out. I've then got a file I can make some changes to. I can simply save and close and then check back in, and that will create a new copy in the audit trail. It keeps both copies, and in fact as you build up, it builds up a library of your historical versions for you. You can add any new content very simply by just choosing to drag and drop that file, whatever that is. We've got a Microsoft project file here. We can drag and drop that into the project, and that's now held as a copy in this configuration around the project management documentation. As I come and proceed through the process to start, we need project mandate again because it's the input to the start process, and it shows us the latest versions of all the documentation that are appropriate for project mandate. So it's taking that documentation with us. It's now showing us a whole load of other things it wants us to be working on, providing templates and materials and tools for those. And as we come through further into the project and start to perhaps manage our stage, we start to see actually we don't need the mandate anymore. We've got a PID that controls the process. We've got project and stage documentation, and if we want to go and add multiple stages to our project, we can do that nice and easily. So I'm going to create a new stage there. Come back to here, it's dropped in a set of documentation for that new stage. Really straightforward, simple tool to use. By the time you finish watching this video, you'll be able to download it and use it. It's very, very straightforward. Of course, if you start building your projects in this and you want to then go to our other tools where you can take advantage of reporting and audit trails and all those other sorts of things, you'll be able to take your project that you started working on Community Edition and move it into those other tools. So that's the 5-step method. Let's just go and have a quick look at one of the other methods. We can see how similar they are. So here's the practice method, the new one I was just mentioning about. This gives us a process diagram. Looks different because the diagrams that are used in this method are a bit different, but broadly it has exactly the same idea. We can click through, we're given the documentation appropriate to the process. It might be different documentation, the hints and tips and the templates are different, but the way of working is exactly the same. Here though we can also click to get guidance, because as I mentioned the Praxis website provides extensive guidance materials, and so it's going to take me to the guidance associated with the identification process, and we include these links throughout in the templates as well as in the process diagrams themselves. Okay, so that was having a look at a couple of the methods in Community Edition. Just a quick recap of those again. And of course bringing your attention to the fact that you can build your own, just because we haven't got one that you want to use. For example, if you'd like to use PMI's PMBOK, you can put that in yourself very easily. If you would like to use Scrum, you can put that in yourself very easily. We don't support Scrum, we choose to use Atern instead because it is a published, recognised standard, and we'd like to be able to provide something that everybody can agree is going to be the standard method in that area. So I hope you found that useful. There are individual tours on a number of these method templates, and of course plenty of other tours on the website talking you through the functionality of the tools. This was particularly focused around methodology, and in particular picking up the recent edition of the Praxis framework. I trust you found that helpful. Thank you very much.